is Rakeisha Antonia Prosper, and I am your Miss University of the Bahamas 2026. So, I know that some of you have already started exams, and some of you haven't taken your exams already. So, a lot of people frown upon the use of ChatGPT, but let me explain something to you. As a former mathematics major, I was formerly pure math and math education, but now I'm just math education. I had to do a lot of studying, and a lot of studying, the textbooks weren't able to help me that much because the language is so difficult. So I would have to put the actual information from the textbook into ChatGPT and let ChatGPT break it down for me so I can understand what the text is actually saying. So I'm going to show you how you can use your past test paper, past final exam, and how you can use ChatGPT to help you to understand and help you to break down your final exam if you still don't feel comfortable with your final exams yet. And be aware that you can get these from the math office for $1. Okay? So I'm not posting the entire thing, but the particular question that I'll be working on, I'm gonna show you what it looks like, okay? So I have my handy dandy iPad with me. Hopefully it don't look too, oh yeah. Don't worry y'all, I gotta get a new iPad case. Soon. When you're using ChatGPT, try not to open up a million chats asking the question. Try to keep everything in one chat because chat's memory is better if you keep everything in one chat, especially everything pertaining to the final exam, okay? So, given h of x is equal to negative 3x squared minus 2x plus 5, then h of negative 1 equals, okay, let's just say you don't know how to answer that. I do. But let's just pretend I didn't, right? So I'm gonna type out the entire question in ChatGPT. So given h of x is equal to negative 3x squared minus 2x plus 5, then h of negative 1 is equal to, what I'm going to tell it to do is I'm going to tell them to give me a similar question. Send me a similar question like that, right? So alright, so the question they gave me is given g of x equal to 4x squared minus 3x plus 1, find g of 2. Show me the steps to answer that one you sent me. So basically what you're doing is, I want them to show you another example of how to solve the problem so that this actual problem you can solve it yourself. So step 1, write the function 4x squared minus 3x plus 1. Step 2, substitute 2 everywhere you see x. So they got the 2 from g of 2. So say find g of 2, that's where they got the 2 from, and they substituted it everywhere they saw x. And then next, you're using PEMDAS. So evaluate the exponent first. Now you have, and then multiply. So now g of 2 is equal to 16 minus x plus 1. Simplify, your final answer is 11, right? So now, let's do that first question. So I'm going to substitute negative 1 everywhere I see x. So let's go. So that would be equal to negative 3, open bracket, negative 1 squared. So everywhere you see x, make sure put the negative 1 in bracket. Minus 2, open bracket, negative 1, plus 5. Okay, so now PEMDAS, multiplication, so PEMDAS, exponents, so we have, that's will be negative 3 times negative 1 squared is positive 1, minus 2 times negative 1 plus 5. Again, multiplication, so it is negative 3 times 1. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. And then minus 2 times negative 1 plus 5. And that's again multiplication here. So this would be minus 3. Negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2 plus 2 plus 5. Now we can just simplify this. 2 plus 5 is just 7. 7 minus 3 is 4. So our answer for that question was B, 4. Okay? Very simple. And if you're not familiar with the question and then that was a challenge, ask chat for an answer. And keep practicing it until you're familiar with it. Okay? So let's move on to a different question. Okay, let's do number 6. I could do the microphone and just say it because I'm not talking about that. The cost in dollars for producing X units of a particular item is given by C of X equaled 0.78x plus 576. How many units could be produced for a cost of $849? Send me a similar question like that. And then I'm going to, and then I should have confirmed whether it's the right thing before I actually sent it. The cost of in dollars for producing X units of a particular item is given by C of X equals 0.8x plus 576. So if you study a question like that, okay, yeah. Okay, so the cost in dollars for producing X units of our product is given by C of X equal to 1.25x plus 300. How many units can be produced for a cost of $925? Okay, so since, again, I know how to solve this, but since I don't know how to solve it, I'm gonna ask chat to break it down. How do I solve that? How do I solve the one you said? Okay, so start with the function. You're given the total cost is $925, so replace C of X with 925. And then it looks like I'm solving for X. Okay, good. So the cost in dollars for producing X units of a particular item is given by how many units can we? So I'm replacing C of X with $849. So the function is C of X is equal to 0.78x plus 576. And then the money is 849. So chat's instructions told me to replace the C of X with 849. So that's what I'm going to do. 849 is equal to 0.78x plus 576. And then I'm going to solve for X. So I'm going to transpose and send this 576 over. When I do that, it's going to be a negative. So I'm going to have 0.78x is equal to 849 minus 576. Okay, 0.78x is equal to 273. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 0.78 to solve for x. So x is equal to 273 divided by 0.78. X is equal to 350. Okay, so x is equal to C. Let's do number 10. Number 10 looks interesting. If A is equal to open bracket ABC close bracket and B is equal to open bracket XY close bracket, then A times B equals I forgot to say send me a similar question. Send similar question. If m is equal to pq and n is equal to r s t, find m times n. Work that out. Okay, so sometimes ChatGPT sending you things that is not on your paper, so that's one thing you have to be mindful of. So if you see they're telling me to PQ times RST, if you look at this question, you see that's not a column vector they gave us, that's just two sets. So this has nothing to do with vectors. So this is a set question. Okay, there you go. See, now it's telling me. Now it's telling me what I want to see. Answer it. Okay, so the Cartesian product P times Q means you pair each element in P with every element in Q. So step by step, start with 2, so we have 2A and then 2B. So the next one will be 4A and 4B, yeah. And then 6A and 6B. So, okay. Alright, so based on what they said, they say that I'm pairing every element if with P. So for question 10, I didn't realize I recorded it in slow-mo. So I paired A with X from B, and then A with Y from B, and then B from A with X from B, and then B, and then Y from B, and then C and X and C and Y. So you pairing every element of A with every element of B, and that's how I got this answer. And now see, if you notice when I was answering it, I kept looking back because I was sure, I was sure what I was writing, but then I'm not 100% sure. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna practice this again. So tell Chat to send you another question, and practice that until you don't have to look back no more. Okay? So another question from this side. Find the difference quotient. So given that f of x is equal to 2 minus 3x, fine. Okay, so we're going to put that into chat. So given that f of x is equal to 2 minus 3x, find the difference quotient. Sends me a similar question like that. Okay, let's see what they give me. Given g of x is equal to 5 minus 2x, find the difference quotient. Okay, answer this for me. We'll work through the difference quotient step by step. Given f minus 2 of x, find g of x plus h minus g of x. That's just the difference quotient. So that's the difference quotient. So remember, the difference quotient is f of open bracket x plus h close bracket minus f of x divided by h. Usually we have to say g find g of open bracket x plus h. That's the same thing, they just switch out the numbers. They switch out the letters. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is find g of x plus h. And how did they find g of x plus h? It looked like they substitute x plus h for x in the formula. So when you see 5 minus 2x, they have 5 minus 2 open bracket x plus h. So they substituted x plus h in there. And then they simplified it. And then the next step, they subtracted g of x from what they just found. G of x is just 5 minus 2x. So they subtracted the 5 minus 2x from what they just calculated, which is g of x plus h, right? And then they simplified that. And so they left with negative 2h, so they divided that by h, and then they got their final answer, right? Okay, so let's see if I could put put that to work and see what I come up with, right? So I'm gonna run out of space. So f of x is equal to 2 minus 3x, right? So we're gonna find f of h. They told me to find f of x plus h first. And for this question, you should have already found f of x plus h because that was one of the questions. You have A. A told you to find f of negative 2 divided by 3. B told you to find f of x plus h. You can use that same answer to help you find C. So to find f of x plus h, all Chat told me to do was substitute x plus h into f of x. So you see this x here, I'm going to substitute this x plus h for x. So this is going to be 2 minus 3, open bracket, x plus h. And now I'm going to simplify. So I'm going to distribute the 3 to the x and the h. So that would be 2 minus 3x minus 3h, right? So I found f of x plus h as this, right? So now the formula is f of x minus f of h. So Chat told me to subtract this from this. And that's basically what the formula, because remember this is the formula. F of x plus h minus f of x divided by h. So you found f of x plus h, right? This is that. Now you're going to subtract f of x from this. So, and remember this is f of x here. So we have 2 minus 3x minus 3h. And we're going to subtract. So I'm putting a subtraction sign and then open bracket. Listen to me and listen to me good. That is important. If you don't do that, you're not going to get an accurate answer. So subtract and then you're putting f of x in brackets. So 2 minus 3x. Okay? So now I'm distributing this. That's why you have to put this important to put f of x in brackets because this is going to be distributed. Because this whole entire thing is being subtracted from this. So 2 minus 3x minus 3h minus 2 plus 3x. So negative times positive 2 is negative 2 and negative times negative 3x is positive 3x, right? So now if you see the 3x cancel out. 3x cancel out, so that 2 there, don't forget this 2 there. And then the 3x cancel out, and then the 2's cancel out. Yeah, the 2's cancel out as well. So I'm just left with negative 3x, negative 3h, right? So this what happens, this is what happened when we subtract f of x plus h minus f of x. That's the answer we got. We was left with negative 3h, right? So now, remember, we subtracted the 2, right? And we got left with negative 3h. But we still have to divide this by h. So we're going to put this divided by h. So negative 3h divided by h, that's just negative 3. Right? But for me personally, I like to do the whole entire thing in one. So you could see exactly what I'm doing. So let me do another example and I'm going to show you that. Okay, so for this example, let's find a difference quotient, right? Remember, this is the difference quotient. So I'm going to find f of x plus h because I need that in order to proceed. So f of x plus h, I just substitute x plus h wherever I see x. Okay, now I have to multiply this out. So x plus h squared, you could just write it like, if you don't know how to do that with your head, remember for x times x is x squared. X times h is hx, so plus hx. Plus h times x, same thing, so plus hx. At h times h is h squared, so plus h squared. So this is x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. Okay, that's what this is, what we just found here. You could do this like on the side. You don't have to do this exactly here because we want to show step by step that we understand what we're doing. So So that would be 3 times what we just found. X squared plus 2xh plus h squared. And then distribute the 2, so that'd be plus 2x. And then distribute, so 2 times x is 2x, 2 times h is 2h. Okay, so now, next thing, we're going to distribute this 3. So that'd be 3x squared plus 6xh plus 3h squared plus 2x plus 2h. And that'll be equal to 3x squared. So can we simplify that anymore before I even? No. This is the final answer. So we can just put it in order. Yeah. So 3x squared plus 2x plus 3h squared plus 2h plus 6xh. And that is f of x plus h, right? So this is a lot. This is a lot. So now I'm going to put this into the formula. So f of x plus h, so we have 3h squared plus 2x plus 3h squared plus 2h plus 6xh minus f of x. So what's that f of x? Our f of x is 3x squared plus 2x. So open bracket, 3x squared plus 2x. So now I'm going to distribute this negative. So that'd be 3x squared plus 2x plus 3h squared. Oh, I forgot to put all this over h. So all of this is divided by h. Remember, this whole entire thing, that's f of x plus h minus f of x divided by h. So f of x plus h is f of x plus h minus f of x divided by h. So let me just squash this over. Divided by h. Okay, so now distribute. So that'd be 3x squared plus 2x plus 3h squared plus 2h plus 6xh minus 3x squared minus 2x divided by h. Right, so now let's see if anything can cancel out. 3x squared can cancel out. And then the 2x can cancel out. So I'm left with 3x squared plus 2h plus 6xh. So I'm left with, let's put our equal sign, 3h squared plus 2h plus 6xh divided by h, right? So now, if you see, like, all these terms have a common factor of h, so I could factor out the h, open bracket. When I factor out the h, I'm left with 3h for the first term, plus 2, and then plus 6x. And remember, we divided by h. So the 2h would divide into each other and not give us 1. So our final answer would just be 3h plus 2 plus 6x. Okay? Now, I believe you could find this question on 142. So 140 students, be mindful as well. Unless you have ChatGPT Plus, you know, you only have 3 limit marks. So try only to send questions that contain a graph. And for the questions that contain a graph, these ones, I think you'd be able to ask Chat to send you a similar one, because then Chat would have to create an image, and you don't want Chat to create an image. Just Chat ain't that good at creating images right now for you to be basing your uploads, because if you once you reach a certain amount of once you start sending pictures in there, if you're on the free version, it could give you a limit and be like, come back later, and you'd have to start a new chat. And normally we want to keep everything on one chat. So try to save the like graphs and stuff for the last thing. Let's do number 2. So given the sets u equals 0, 1, 2, 3, comma, dot 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 9, 10, a equal positive even integers, b equal 0, 3, 6, 9, c equals 2, 6, determine the following: a, b, a intersection b, c, a union b, d, n of a intersection b complement. And I'm going to stop it to see if Chad actually understood what it is that I told him. So given the sets u equals 0, 1, 2, 3, comma, dot 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 9, 10, a equals positive even integers, b equals 0, 3, 6, 9, c equals 2, 6, determine the following: a equals to be just a by itself. So b is a intersection. So a is just a, b is a intersect b, b is a intersect b, c is a union b, and d is open bracket a intersect b complement. And I'm going to say send similar question. Let u equals a equals odd integers, and u, b equals 1, 4, 7, 10, c equals 3, 5, 7. Determine the following. Answer these for me, please. Okay, so a is the odd in numbers in u. So a is just the odd numbers in u. So 1, 2, 5, 7, 9. A intersection b is the common elements in a and b. So the common elements in A and B, so the elements that A and B have in common, so they both have 1 and 7 in common. Yeah. A union B is combine all elements from A and B, no repeats. So if we see them twice, don't put them twice. Okay, so N of A intersection B complement. So first find B complement. So complement of B in U. Okay, so reading that, I don't know what that means. I mean, I know what it means, but reading it, they're confusing me, even though I kind of know what they mean. So instead of getting frustrated, I'm gonna say, what do you mean by that? Or be specific, so they don't just answer a general thing. Be specific. What do you mean by complement of B in U? When we say the complement of B in U, all elements are in a universal set U, but not in B. So think of U as the full list and B as a smaller group inside it. The complement is everything left over after you remove B. So everything outside of B, that's what they mean. So B complement, if B is 1, 4, 7, 10, B complement would mean everything outside of B. So it looks like 0, 2, you see? Okay, so now I understand. So now find A intersection B. Okay, so A intersection B complement would be what A and B complement should have in common, so what they share. And they both share 3, 5, and 9. So now it's a n of that. So n means the count the elements. So let's ask chat. Well, let's ask chat that. When I see n, does that mean count the elements? If so, give me some examples of how they would give me that. Because what we want you to do is, we don't want you to just memorize the questions and answers. We want you to understand the process behind it. So you can see this here, but you can see this somewhere else. If you see this somewhere else, you're not going to understand what it says because it's in a different form. So yeah, okay, so think, yes, when you see n of A, it means the number of elements in set A. Think of it as how many items are inside the set. Here's some clear examples. A is equal to n of A is 4, okay. Okay, so when I see n of such and such, that's telling me how much ever it is, to count how much ever elements is in that, okay? Alright, so they explained it to me, so now let's answer this question. Okay, so determine A. So A is the positive even integers, so A is equal to the positive even integers, so 2, 4, 6, 8, and then 10. I say B. B, they say A intersection B. So that's what A and B share in common. So A and B share 6 in common. So C, A union B, so that's everything in A and everything in B. So 0, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, they both share 6. 8, 9, 10. I put the numbers in order. So this was both A, this is C, A union B. Now D. So remember chat told me to find, oh, this is a different one. So this is the number of A intersection B complement. So remember when we say we don't want you to just memorize the thing that they gave us. So the example they gave us, they said B complement. But this say A intersection B complement. So what did I learn from that just now? Complement. I learned that the complement is everything outside. So if I see this say A intersection B complement, that means that I'm finding the number of elements from A intersection B complement. So the first thing we're going to do is find A intersection B. A intersection B right here. Complement. So A intersection B complement everything outside of A intersection B. That'll be everything other than 6. And I like to visualize it sometimes. Remember when you're dealing with sets? You could easily just draw a diagram. This A, this B. Remember, A intersection B is right here. This A intersection B. So A intersection B complement is everything around this. So you remember 6 inside here because that's what A intersection B is. So everything outside of it, and then the number of elements there. So what I just gonna do is, they gave us the universal set. The universal set is 0 all the way up to 10, right? All we're going to do is count from 0 to 10 excluding 6. So 0 up to 10 is 11 numbers. Take away 6, that's 10 numbers. So the number of A intersection B complement is just 6. It's just 10. And if you're not sure about how you answered the question, you could always ask chat to answer the original question that you sent. Answer the original set question that I sent you with union A, B, and C. Answer that A, B, C, and D. Let's see what they give us. Make sure that the question is correct. U equals 0 up to 10, positive even integers within U. Even though the paper didn't say within U, chat knows that obviously the test means they're talking about the numbers from U, so that's why they put them within U.
Okay, so A, we got this right. B, we got this right. Now what's C? Combine all elements, no repeats. So 0, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. We got that right. And then D. So step 1, A intersection B equals 6. So complement in U. So remove 6 from U. So our answer is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So count those elements, that's 10. So the number of A intersection B complement is 10. Okay?
That was a lot, but again, like I say, keep asking sending similar questions until you get the hang of it. Okay. So for number 7, you could enter the text into chat, but you'd have to be familiar with how the things are represented. So you'd have to know, okay, if you're looking at the Venn diagram, right? You'd have to know what S intersection B, where that area is. You know, that's the small area that combines S and intersection B. So chat would explain it for you, but you'd have to know how the Venn diagram is represented in the letter form. And these other stuff with regression lines and stuff, you'd have to go on YouTube for that. You could go on chat too, but I feel like YouTube would be better. Linear programming feasible region for 160 students. I answered a similar question like this on my test 2 video, so you could look at that. And that's our final exam. So regardless of the course you're in, you can use ChatGPT to help you practice for your final exam. The thing is, all my tips would be if you're gonna say the question, so if you're gonna use the microphone, make sure that when you press stop, you actually read the question. When you send it, you actually read the question that chat is answering, because you don't want them to be answering the incorrect question. That's not what you asked them, and then and then practice. Don't just send the question once, they explain it, and then you go put your merry old business. No, practice. Send the next question. Practice that. Practice it again and again and again till you get it. And then the next question is, use my YouTube channel, especially if I created resources for you. Use my YouTube channel, the videos, watch those videos to get practice with it. Watch the test 1, test 2 to get more practice with it, right? Next tip. You don't have to only get the final exam, get test 1 and get test 2. Remember, the final exam is comprehensive. So get all of them and practice instantly. And my last tip would be to gamify it, right? So tell yourself, when you finish studying, you're gonna give yourself a cookie or candy. And if you get up and start using your phone, do not give that to yourself. Come on, we have to practice delayed gratification. Don't be treating yourself for stuff you ain't do. Okay? That's my biggest tips. In order to actually gamify studying and make it fun, you have to stick to what it is that you're saying. And you have to really train yourself and get out of the mindset that I always tell students, get out of the mindset that I hate math. Listen to me. Stop saying that. Like, you have to stop saying that. If you're going to actually get math, you know that there's power in the tongue. You keep saying you hate math, you ain't gonna never get it. You speaking stuff over yourself. And I know I feel like I'm preaching now, but a lot of students don't take that seriously. You continuously say, I hate math, I ain't gonna never get it. What are you doing to yourself? Would you say, I hate myself, I'm so ugly, I ain't gonna never learn nothing? Would you say that about yourself? And if you do, you need to stop that. Okay? Please. Let's not speak bad on ourselves, okay? Let's not speak bad on ourselves. Let's not speak bad on ourselves. And know that some of the difficulties you may be struggling with math is that you don't know the background knowledge. Because you don't know the background knowledge, that's what makes it difficult for you. But if you were to have that, math will be better for you, especially if you don't have a system as to where you're actually sitting down studying math. You just kind of go with the fly of your pants, but I'm kind of guy, I don't study, I just do my homework, I go to class, I barely pay attention and stuff like that. If you don't really have a set system, your body and your critical thinking skills isn't adapting to what you're doing, because it isn't set. But as you prepare and as you study more, your mind is going to get used to it, and it's going to want to work with you better. So I know I felt like I was preaching this now, but please stop saying I hate math and I'm going to get it. This is speaking life over yourself. Okay, I'm sorry that I wasn't able to answer some courses final exam, but I still have the test 1, test 2, and remember the final exam is comprehensive. So use those resources. Please, if you're not on my broadcast list, please WhatsApp this number so I can stay in contact with you, alright? I'm your Miss Yubi. I need to be able to speak with you, you know? Just see how you doing, you know? How you be treating you, just how you doing as a person, you know? Alright? Sounds good? Alright. This information is not, please know that this information is not only relative to mathematics. You can use this in any subject. Any subject you study for, if you could get your hands on pass final exam or test paper or whatever, you could do exactly what it is that I'm doing to help you study for that exam. I used this to help me study for all kind of exams. Education, math, you name it. You name it, okay? So this is not information, it's not only relative to mathematics, alright? Thank you so much for joining my TED Talk today. Bye. See you later.